And joining us now is a member of Knesset for the Likud, Dan Illouz. Dan, let's start with your new initiative, the new law speaking about placing sanctions of financial bodies that do pay for slay. We're in days, where some voices speak about letting Palestinian workers into Israel again. Please tell us more about this law.
So first of all, we know that the Palestinian Authority has over the years paid the salaries to the families of terrorists. This is something that is going on for years. Israel has tried to stop this, including removing part of the funds that are equal to those funds paid to those families from the money that goes to the Palestinian Authority, but it hasn't worked because the Palestinian Authority has always preferred paying for those terrorist families rather than for the goodwill, for the good of its people. And so right now we're trying to attack this same problem, which incentivizes terror in the Palestinian Authority areas by stopping the financial institutions that actually bring this money to the Palestinian Authority and then to the families of those terrorists, again, thus incentivizing terror. We're trying everything we can in order to stop this, and this is one more weapon in the arsenal of Israel to stop this.
And when is it supposed to kick in? When is it supposed to start?
Right now, it's just starting the legislative process, so there's still a few steps ahead. It needs to go through the Knesset, pass the votes, and so we're very early on. It's hard for me to put a timetable, but I'm very intent on getting this passed as quickly as possible.
Dan, now switching to another subject, U.S. President Joe Biden and Secretary of State Antony Blinken are by now fully busy with the day after the war in Gaza and are trying to limit Israel's actions in Gaza. Is U.S. pressure causing Israel to lose this war?
I have to say that I feel that instead of speaking of U.S. pressure, we should speak of the U.S. support all along the way for Israel. I mean, we're over 100 days into this war, and the U.S. still hasn't called for a ceasefire. It understands that Israel must defeat Hamas, not only for Israel's good, but for the good of the free world. So yes, sometimes we have misunderstandings, sometimes we have things that we don't agree on, but when it comes to the actual goals of this war, which is the complete defeat of Hamas and the bringing back home of the hostages, Israel and America are on the same page. They're still on the same page. We'll keep arguing respectfully about things we disagree, but these are arguments between friends, not arguments between competitors or enemies.
Yes, and you see that Israel is slowly withdrawing from Gaza, less and less forces inside, but Hamas abilities still exist. I mean, I know this is a hard question, but strong on the hostages, still firing rockets, rearming. What's the plan here?
No, so I want to be very clear. From the start, Israel has said that this will be a very, very long war. And from the start, you can look 3 months back and see what plans were shown to the public. I'm a member of the Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee, so obviously I get more details. But these were things that were also said to the public, that there will be around 3 months of very intensive fighting where we hope to dismantle the military capabilities of Hamas as a military organized group. But afterwards, there will be up to a year of guerrilla warfare, which we will still be dealing with. And the tactics to fight guerrilla warfare are different than the tactics to fight an organized military group. And therefore, we're using different tactics. You're right that we're not using the same tactics and the same intensity as we did in the beginning, but it was always part of the plan. And so I hope that the public can understand this. This war is not over. It's going to be very long, but the goals of the war are still exactly the same. And even if we change tactics, it doesn't mean that we change the goals of the war.
You're saying not changing the war goals. Israel is surely also busy, at least in thoughts, with the day after in the region. What are some of the plans you're hearing?
The decision hasn't been made yet. It would be a lie for me to say that there is a decision. I do think that one of the things that the public needs to understand is that the day after Hamas is not anywhere close. Right now, just today, me together with 3 other Likud members, we actually published a plan that we hope to see, not for the day after Hamas, but for the days in between what's going on now and the day after Hamas, and what Israel must do in order to ensure that Hamas doesn't put its head back up, that the IDF doesn't lose some of the gains that it made during this intense war time. And we speak of different things, including keeping the north of Gaza without any significant civilian population, as we keep on ensuring that there are no terror tunnels, we keep on ensuring that there aren't any terrorists, and other things of the kind. I don't want to go into too much details, but this is something that we published today. But we are understanding that there will be a long time between the day after and what's going on right now. And the day after is not anywhere close. There's still a long time. We're in these discussions right now. We can tell you one thing that's for sure, is that Hamas will not be in any way part of the day after. And when it comes to me and my party, we've also made it very, very clear that the Palestinian Authority that incentivizes terror cannot be a part of the solution also.
Dan, indeed, there's still a long way to go. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.